In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth.
What's up, cousins? Ryan here, Shannon here, Gen 2 Farms. 11 years in the making. We've been dreaming about this for a good 11 years now, trying to figure out how to do it together. Once we figured that out, that we definitely wanted to do it once we met and we started a business and we went through the business and realized that we really wanted to be self-sufficient and happy and do all of that stuff. And we didn't really want to rely on anybody else, and it was important that we were able to take care of ourselves no matter what was going on in the world. And we did. We started a business 11 years ago. It's been going good since. And we, in the meantime, after that, we were, part of our dream was that we were always looking for some kind of farm or some kind of homestead or some kind of self-sufficiency at some point, but we really didn't know 100% how we wanted to approach that. Then again, we had just met and we had been together for a few years, then started figuring out what our life kind of wanted to be like and what it looked like together as we started planning our future. But once again, we really know we wanted to be sufficient, self-sufficient, happy, and do all of that. So we started out with a little bit of some specialty dogs, some bull terriers, specialty breed, and doing dog showing and things like that, and really was into the special breed. We figured if we were going to do it, we were going to do the tough one, of course. But it's been fun. It's been a learning experience. We really love our dogs. They're like family. They live with us. They're around us all the time. You'll see them in videos, I'm sure. You hear from them, and they're a part of the homestead too, because you got to have, not just dogs just for pets. There are pets too, but they're more than just that for us. So we love them. We work with them all the time, and Shannon, coming from a dog background and animal background and things previously before I met her, she really helped inspire me to really get more pets. Hey, Dad only let you get one or two dogs. I got more than a couple dogs now, Dad. So, but we wanted to make sure that we were going down the right path with the dogs, and we really we really have been doing that still now for what, like 10 years or so, I would say, about 10 years. And you learn more all the time about what's going on and what you should be doing and shouldn't be doing, and you discover other dogs in the breed and what other people are doing, and maybe what you don't think they should be doing, and maybe how you can make it better. But that's what it's about. It's about bettering the breed, and that's really why we do it. It's just to better the bull terrier breed. But so fast forward a little bit. After we have to fast forward a little bit, and 6 years later, we decided to start a family. So we were together for 6 years. We started a family, and got married, had our first little boy, Royce, and we were just through the moon about the situation. We were happy to be Mr. and Mrs. Dickerson, and we really just wanted the best life for each other and best lives for our children. So it was always in the plan, always part of it, just pushing forward, moving forward every day, all the time. And once we had that, we really became very conscious about what we were eating and the foods we were consuming. We were really focused on you are what you eat. And we weren't eating the best stuff, I tell you what. Because we were like, well, we got kids. I don't really feel like feeding them McDonald's cheeseburgers and chicken sandwiches and silly stuff like that all the time. So it started. She's telling me, stop eating fast food, and I could see it in myself too. I started not looking healthy, not feeling healthy. I started having issues with myself, with my health and my diet, and I'm really like, okay, we got to get this under control.
But not only yourself, also our kids. We decided to start feeding them organically and only looking for organic style of food. So it really started to change our way of thinking about our food and what we were putting in our body, and involving our family.
Yeah, for sure. And once we started thinking about that more and getting really doing a deep dive, going all the way, going hard on it, we figured out that if you are what you eat, then they are what they eat, and they are what they eat, and the only way to curb that, and currently, is kind of like to make sure that you produce your own for the most part. And we just thought, hey, what could we do on a small scale, even like what kind of food could we do right now? So we started things like microgreens and chickens for eggs and a small garden. Just figure, hey, we live in the suburban life right now. It's part of the plan. We're trying to get there. We're not established enough to go out and buy the farm we want. We've talked about leasing and looking at other options and things, but realistically, we knew in the long run that it was going to make the most sense. And then we also, once we made that decision that we wanted a homestead and we wanted that to happen, we went out, we started looking, we started searching. We really knew that we loved our chickens. We wanted more chickens. We wanted more garden. We wanted to eat our food all the time from our garden. I mean, we had things like strawberries and
Watermelon.
Yeah. What else? We have spinach, I think.
Spinach,
Arugula.
Onion, garlic onion.
Oh yeah, garlic onion was a big winner. So, we had some really good stuff, and just noticed the difference in the taste. On top of, the fact that we got our eggs for our first time, we were really like, wow, these eggs are awesome. Our chickens look awesome. The eggs taste awesome. Why don't we just keep going? So, doing the farm life really has been a breakaway from what we normally do, and have learned to embrace it more, to become more of who we want to become, because the only way to get there was to take steps at it. So we decided to take a few steps. We took a few small steps just to make sure we could do it, because we didn't want to jump in and end up wasting a bunch of time and effort and money and everything just to turn around and say, no, this isn't for us and this is what we want to do. So I always advise that if anybody's going to try something, at least take a few baby steps or shadow and try to figure out if that's something you really want to do there. But, needless to say, obviously, making this video, we fell in love with the stuff. And, we had some experience from gardening previously, and it was, this one couldn't keep a plant alive for anything before that, before I met her. But, she can do it great now. She's A1. So, but, we all learn. We're learning stuff all the time. And, I started when I was younger, just a little bit in some plants, and school had a special program we went to. It's kind of like camp thing. And I learned a lot about nature, and I really fell in love. And I was one of the very few students who actually did the program at my school. But, that part of my life I just knew was needed to be. And then I met my spouse. Needless to say, we fell in love with the chickens and the garden and everything we were doing. So we started making a plan to do it, actually, and then the pandemic kind of hit. And it kind of hit, and then it really hit. And we were like, all right, this is starting to become more of a necessity than it is a dream. Like, we were like, we need more food, and this where we can't do that here. So there was only one option: move, sell our house. But the types that we are, we know we need to plan before we go ahead and feel comfortable about making that move. You have to really make sure that you've got all of your plans laid out before we made that step, and before we both felt comfortable. Realistically, I think I was being the stubborn one about not being comfortable about moving. That I was kind of kept wanting to put my foot on the brake there and kept trying to figure out other stuff.
I think it was bittersweet for you.
Yeah, it was our first house and stuff, and I worked on it a lot and put a lot of equity into it to make it better. But we did it, and we decided to sell our house. We sold it. We were looking for another house. We had been looking for another house. There was very, very little inventory. There was hardly anything available.
That not only allowed chickens, but gave us room to grow. It was in a school district that we wanted our boys to be in.
Yeah, all difficult things. I think the school district thing was probably the hardest. This is a tough school district to get into, and finding a reasonable homestead in the area, it's like impossible almost. I think I had been looking at, honestly, for the few years that I had just been looking just to keep an idea about what was going on, and there were very few houses that popped up even during that time. So we were just really keeping our fingers crossed and hoping that we had enough equity and enough money into the situation to really, put something solid out there and really, move on to the next step and get that offer accepted. But once we made that plan, we finally found our homestead. We researched and tried every trick in the book that we could find and person we could talk to. I think we even switched realtors once, and after that, we got our offer accepted on our new home, and then it took forever. We were months and months away from even moving in the house, just because of obviously all the standard things, inspections and so on that have to go on. And during the pandemic, it was just, everything was delayed. You couldn't go in, the inspector couldn't go in without somebody. It's
special
just
agreements, delays,
Yep.
special requirements, extra forms needing to be signed.
Yeah. On top of selling our house, I mean, we're having a virtual tour, sell our house, on top of the random people that could possibly come in from time to time when they opened it up for a very short period of time. We had to hurry up and figure out a way to skedaddle and run and go places while people were looking at our house and come back and sanitize and vice versa. It was crazy. It was hard. But we went through, we pushed through, and we did it. We didn't let it stop us. We knew the dream, what was coming, and we were very fortunate, I feel like, to come out on the other end on a positive note, because I know there's a lot of stories out there that hasn't worked out. I think we sold our house 5 or 6 times during the pandemic, and it's just because of it was hard. People were putting offers in and then backing out because they didn't see the house because they couldn't, and it's just difficult. So we finally found what we were looking for after months of searching, and had to meet certain necessities, and we had those necessities pegged. I felt like it didn't hit 100%, but from what we were noticing, you were never going to find that anyways, on top of your wants.
And some of the things we thought might be a big deal, we were sad about maybe not having, we found that maybe it wasn't as important, and then we've also found some perks that we didn't even realize.
Yep, definitely. And I think we found a lot more perks than we didn't realize. You only scratch the surface of a house when you get to looking at it, but you find all this character and other things, such as this wall. This house was built in 1908. I love the stone masonry. I've always had this vision in my head that some kind of stone masonry house built with timber frames and actually giant pieces of lumber holding it up that were harvested from this land. Hey, that's what it's about to me. My house was built from the land, and it was built to live on the land, and that's what we're going to continue to try to do here. So, we love the timber frame. Our business originally started in a timber frame building, and we just started really discovering, learning once again more and more, and it was super amazing. But once we found most of those things, we decided, all right, hey, we're going to move in. Everything's going to be great. Well, that took time. That took time to move in, to get us the keys, to close the door, to close the sale, to get all the way in. I think from start to finish, the whole thing was like 6 months or so. which was not ideal on what we were thinking we wanted to do, or our timeline. It really didn't work with our timeline, but we made it work. So, you know, during the entire journey, I know that we talked about multiple times about it being about stewardship and about God's plan for us. It's always stewardship, and we always wanted to create our own paradise or Garden of Eden, and our own sanctuary for us to be able to really to love. So, I think we're going to do that here. We're going to do that soon. We're going to be working on it. There's a lot to do, a lot of work.
We've already done a lot of work.
We've done a lot of work
to share.
Yep, we're going to share a lot more very soon here. You're going to see a lot posted from us. We're going to stay on the journey with us. It's going to be a fun journey. It's going to be a funny journey. It's going to be emotional journey, I'm sure, at times. When all the beats die or they all live, whatever happens, it happens. But, I think either way it goes, you can learn a little something from it. We're going to learn stuff from it. It's a way to document it, a way to really learn from anyone else out there. And we love the other YouTubers and Googlers to help you find out information. So, this is what we dreaming. Gen 2 Farms, Ryan, Shannon. I think we're out. Like, subscribe. Yep, follow the journey. Peace out.